First of all, I'd like to begin by saying that the accounts of India by foreigners up to about 1750 describe India, the people of India, as the most honest people in the world. Mark Twain, who came much later, he also said that he was amazed to see that Indians don't lock their houses. The Chinese travelers who came, Buddhists like Faxian and Yuan Shuang, they also went into raptures about, not only about the wealth of India, the progress of India, etc., but they also say that these are very truthful, honest people. Because today we are, all of us, when we sit privately, we say we Indians are all corrupt, everybody is corrupt, nobody is, all politicians are corrupt, all doctors are corrupt, all lawyers are corrupt, all NRIs are corrupt.
No!
There's just kind of despondency. And I would like to see that despondency go. I saw that despondency when I took up this 2G case. Everybody told me that nothing will come out of it. Raja himself, whom I know personally, told me in the Hall of Parliament, Central Hall of Parliament, that in Tamil he told me, why you're wasting time? I paid everybody who's of any consequence and I'm protected. Nothing can happen to me. So, this is the kind of atmosphere which facilitates corruption. So the first thing that must come in all of us is that we will say corruption must go and something must be done and support anything that is being done. How that can be done by those of you living abroad, I'll come to towards the end of my talk. So, second thing I would like to say is that the corruption that needs to be first tackled is the misuse of public office for altering a decision from the meritorious or the optimal decision to something which is substandard or suboptimal, because somebody paid you money. The key thing is that is where the main problem arises. Unfortunately, in our country, once you start talking about corruption, we talk about practically everything. Digvijay Singh said, what is Ramdev? He accepts black money. Now that is not corruption. Ramdev gets money not by promising anything. He has not made a deal, there is no quid pro quo. How is he going to know it's black money? I mean, if somebody gives in cash, there is no bar legally to somebody receiving a payment in cash unilaterally, one way. That is, if I were to sell some goods, then accepting cash is against the sales tax law and the income tax law. But if somebody gives a donation in cash, that's not corruption. And this simple thing is not there. Supposing I go travel in a taxi, I have black money in my pocket and I give the taxi driver the fare in cash. That doesn't make him corrupt because he's accepted black money. So please be sure that the focus has to be for the misuse of public office for either benefiting and enriching yourself or somebody else. So that is the corruption that we are talking about, and all these big lists that Satya has put out, they're all where the public office has been misused. Public office is a trust and it's a betrayal of that trust. So that's how I must begin by saying that yes, there may be, I can say dowry is a corruption. That you get married and you refuse to marry unless a motor car is given and a refrigerator is given. That's a form of corruption. You can say all the, you can widen it. But the country today is suffering. The dimensions of economic system are suffering because of this. Second thing I would like to say is that, in this regard, is that the impact of corruption is not that some corrupt person or some criminal has given cash to a minister and the minister has become rich and a bad decision is taken. It has multivarious effects. and it is ultimately weakening your country. What are those dimensions of corruption? First and foremost is that corruption, of course, sub-optimizes the decision, and therefore the country's resources do not get the rate of return that they should by choosing the best project. If I have a tender, put out a tender for a road construction, and I tell the man that I will give you this tender, provided you give me so many crores of rupees for this project, he'll say, I'm not going to even earn lakhs. Where am I going to get this? Going to get these crores? So what does he do ultimately to get the tender? He then, in the tender, he says that, the tender said that the quality of the road should be such, the quality of the bitumen used should be so on, all that. He does not carry out that. He then puts substandard material. So one rainfall, the road is finished. Whereas we build very good roads in India. Indians can build very good roads. We build them abroad, of course. We build them in Malaysia. We build them in Nigeria. In fact, George Bush complimented Saddam Hussein, saying that, well, whatever else I may say, but the road from Basra to Baghdad, where the American tanks went with great speed, was so good. He said, at least he built good roads. But I found out it is not Saddam who built it, but he gave the contract to India, and we had built that road from Basra to Baghdad. So we are doing extremely well where the performance is based on merit. And therefore, this is the way where our substandard products affect us. By this corruption, adulteration, they put all kinds of very harmful material into the... These are the areas by which the countries suffer. Second, when the money, corruption takes place, money changes hands, and it changes hands in cash. It can't be in check, because check can be traced. So that cash, where does it go? Part of it goes abroad. So I'll talk about that next. But first I will talk about the part that remains in India. What is it used for? It is primarily used for three things. I mean, in a harmful way. First and foremost, people, when they get a whole lot of cash, and now it is, the numbers are mind-boggling. In fact, this telecom scam, the first question somebody asked me is, how many zeros does it have? The Supreme Court judge. And I counted it and said 11 zeros are there. And certainly, this is something which is mind-boggling, this kind of thing. But it's not the only scam that is running into billions of dollars. It's many other. There's a coal scam. There is now a gas scam. And there are so many other scams which are there. And we therefore must know that these large amounts, they are huge. And this huge amount, some of it is used to put air conditioners in every room. Even in the bathroom, they are now putting air conditioners. Because you got that kind of money. You buy 5-6 cars, so on. And you build a palatial house. You go off to Switzerland for trips. Summer vacations, you go to 5-star hotels for dinners regularly. What happens is that these luxury goods, they come in great demand. And when they come in great demand, these industries, the rate of return on the investment in these industries starts going up. The profit rates start going up. So the investors, what they do, they say, why should I produce cloth? Why should I produce common man's goods? Why should I invest in agriculture? Let me put it in luxury goods. And that's distorts your investment priority. In a country like ours with so many poor people, the investment should be largely in favor of those services, public services, things like that, which the public needs. But it goes in for what the elite or the top 10% need. I have estimated by using what is called as input-output analysis in economics to show that the Indian economy, 70% of the investment goes directly or indirectly to sustain luxury consumption in our country. That's a huge number. It's a huge investment priority distortion. So this is that. Then this money is used for forward trading in agricultural commodities.